Shalom YouTube family, I hope y'all are doing well. My name is Aliyah and welcome back to my channel. So on this channel we talk about various topics. I talk about my time being in Islam, I talk about my time being in the New Age, I talk about my journey from coming out of that, like I said, out of Egypt like the Bible says, and into, the Heavenly Father and His Son Yahushua HaMashiach and the truth. And yeah, I just talk about all that, and I also talk about just stuff that came up in my life, traumas. I also share about, my weight loss journey and my health journey. I am doing it set apart, different from what the world tells us to do. So, doing it according to what our Bible, the beautiful Bible says. So, if that is something y'all are interested in, please like and subscribe to my channel. So, thank y'all so much. So, again, let's just get into it. So, today I want to talk to y'all about weight loss. Let's just talk about weight loss, how the world does it versus how the Father wants us to do it, and how I have been doing it, how the Father has been guiding me to my health, improve my health, and my weight. Okay, so this is going to be very vulnerable, so I'm going to share some pictures with y'all. A picture I'm going to share with y'all is at my heaviest weight. So this picture was taken in July of 2024, and at that weight, I was 442 pounds. 442 pounds. Y'all are not mishearing that. I was very, 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 very big. And when I was at that weight, I will talk about how I got that heavy because someone has asked me that. But when I was at that weight, things were difficult, to say the least. I had to think, there was so much mental space just to get out of the house. I had to think about whether I would fit in chairs. I had to think about weight limits. There was no way. I couldn't even fit in the plus size store anymore. So I had to go online and shop for my clothes because most of the plus size stores will go up to what, like 26, 28. I was about a 28, 30 to be honest with y'all. And I had to buy dresses a lot because really nothing really fit me. Everything was so uncomfortable. I was in so much pain being at that weight. My self-esteem was at an all-time low being at that weight. And I just felt terrible in my body. I just felt like this wasn't me being at this weight. I mean, it's not even just the look. It's just like how you feel. My function was limited. My mobility was limited. My strength was limited. I mean, everything was limited. And things just became so hard. Just daily things that I needed to do became hard. I was in so much pain at one point that I could not go to the grocery store to shop. I had to do curbside pickup. And, praise God, that was an option that was available. And thankfully, I had a job at the time. And I was able to afford that. But I had to do that at one point in time. For quite a while, actually. I couldn't cook like I wanted to cook. Because everything just hurt. I did not like it. Even when I had to go out, I didn't want to go out because I knew a lot of times I couldn't fit in chairs. I remember one time my son wanted to see a movie. I think it was like the Minions or something back in 2023. I'm not the type to watch a lot of movies or a lot of TV shows and stuff, but every so often I'll watch with my child. And so we went to the movie theater. And the movie theater had like that little table, because the movie theaters are trying to do like they serve food at the movie theater, so they have that little table that like folds or moves up back and forth. And I remember I could not get that table to move forwards for me to fit in the chair. So I remember I had to call someone to ask them if they can remove the table for me. I was mortified, to say the least. And even my son was like, "Mommy, it's okay, Hey, let's just enjoy the movie." And he was so sweet. But I was mortified. And I acted like I wasn't because I wanted him to enjoy like the day and I wanted him to enjoy the movie, but it is so embarrassing, y'all. And the person who did it, he was really, really nice to me. Like he did it in a way to where other people didn't notice. Like, so he was trying not to embarrass me, and may y'all bless this man. This man was awesome. But it was embarrassing. And I've broken 2 chairs. I can laugh about it now, but it was embarrassing back then. Y'all, and even just to find clothes was really hard, much less modest clothes. I mean, come on now. And then clothes in natural fibers, like the Bible, like the Old Testament says. Good luck with that. And a plus size, like, good luck. So, I mean, life just became really hard. Like, showering was hard. everything was really, really hard. Everything was hard. Like driving was hard. I remember like my thighs would like reach to the steering wheel, and it was really uncomfortable driving. And oh gosh, and yeah, I mean, in the looks that you get from people, like I said, I really don't care about what people think, but you can like tell they just look at you like shocked. And the comments that you get from kids are just honest. And I didn't get like too offended with the kids because kids are kids. They're honest and their brain is still developing. But yeah, it was really, really bad. I mean, my health was really bad at that time. Pre-diabetic, like high blood pressure, a lymphedema, hormonal imbalances, the thyroid issues. I mean, I was dealing with a lot of health issues too. A lot of spiritual stuff too at that time too. I was dealing with a lot of spiritual stuff because I was still in the new age at that time, and I was trying to manifest my dream body, which was delusion. And I thank the Father for waking me up from that, because I mean, if I still stayed in that delusion, who knows where I'd be. Who knows where I'd be, man. I was not far from my 600-pound life. Let me just say that. Very scary, very, very scary. And you got to think about weight limits for everything. Like even my bed right now. I have a Big Fig mattress, which I absolutely love, my Big Fig bed. But Big Fig literally stands for bigger figure. And I had to think about the weight limit for my bed too, because when you're in a bigger body, most beds don't work for you. You have to think about the weight limit of the bed. So thankfully my Big Fig mattress is up to 1,100 pounds. And I love that bed so much. And even whenever I do reach my goal weight, I'm keeping that bed because I love that bed. And it was just hard to move. It was hard to do anything at that weight. So even when I would try to exercise, I could only do like maybe 10 minutes max. And I was exhausted. I was really exhausted. So now I want to share a picture of myself that I took on the I don't even know the dates, man. I'm losing track of my dates, y'all, but it was November 22nd or something like that. I'll put the correct date up there of how I look currently. And as you can see, like, I look better. I look more lively. I feel more vibrant. Some people have told me that I look younger. And some people told me that you just look like you are just happier, more at peace, and more at everything. And obviously, I'm lighter. I lost, so far, as of November 20, 65.6 pounds, which is, praise Yah, all glory goes to my Heavenly Father, Yahuah. And even though, yes, I am still bigger, I obviously still have more to lose, but I feel better. I feel better, I feel more vibrant, I have more energy, and it is because of my Heavenly Father. My health is improving, and I'm eating biblically, and things are just so much better right now. I can move better. Yes, there's still some areas of imbalance. There's still some areas of pain. Again, I'm addressing that. I just finished physical therapy. They gave me some home exercises, and I'm also trying to address some of the imbalances myself. I am in a program called WeShape, and WeShape has movement calls with a physical therapist. So I'm constantly asking her questions about what I can do about some of my aches and pains and imbalances, which I know weight loss will help, and it did help. I mean, losing 65 pounds definitely helped with the pain, and I know as I lose more weight, the pain will probably get better, but also strengthening and mobilizing the areas as well. I just wanted to kind of share with y'all how I got there, because I'm actually going to be seeing a holistic doctor soon that was recommended by the biblical nutritionist. And I was having a consultation with her, and she had asked me, she's like, Aaliyah, how does somebody get to 442? Like, can you explain how you got to 442 pounds? That was a tough question, y'all. That was a tough question. And I had to be honest. I had to think about it, and I had to be honest. For me, it was a combination of things that led me to 442 pounds. It wasn't one isolated incident. So, first things first, both sides of my family genetically are just bigger people. And definitely obesity runs on both sides of the family. And that's not good. That's a spirit of gluttony. That's not good. It's a spiritual issue for sure. And my family just being Muslim, and right there's a false religion. That brings a lot of curses to the family. And my mom's side of the family especially loves seeing psychics and doing divination and black magic and stuff, which that's forbidden in the Bible. It is not good. So they do that, and there's a lot of just like sexual abuse in the family. There's just a lot going on both sides of the family. So I mean, I've always been bigger even from a young age. My mom didn't feed us super healthy foods when I was younger, so that definitely contributed to weight. And be careful, y'all, of what people say to you. So people would speak a lot of word curses over me, like "you're fat," "you're this," "you're that," and I reject and rebuke those words. I reject and rebuke it. And be careful, because that stuff, like Proverbs says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Even doctors would say stuff like that. So there was a lot of that. There was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of abuse. I was sexually abused at a young age, at age 7. And I noticed after 7 years old, my weight started to creep up. And I didn't realize that till very recently. The father had revealed that to me. And I was holding on to a lot of anger and bitterness. And I was a person who also never fit in. So growing up, I never fit in. I did not fit in with my narcissistic family, so I dealt with a lot of narcissistic abuse. I never fit in at school. I didn't fit in when I was working corporate jobs. I did not fit in no matter where I went. And so I always felt out of place growing up too. And that definitely contributed to things. Also, my family were very big into like diet culture, and a lot of them developed like eating disorders. So what my mom would do, as I got into teenage and my young 20s, is, they would weigh me, and if I had gained just an ounce, literally, because they had the scale that measured even the ounce, they would put me on a very restrictive diet. And what happens with really restrictive diets is they do not work long term because you're super restrictive. And so I developed a lot of eating disorders. And there was a lot of emotional eating as well, I have to also be honest, because I hated my life so much. And that's just being a Muslim female, growing up as a Muslim female in America, also brought a lot of identity crisis, because I did not feel like I fit in with the Muslims. Never did. Then I didn't feel like I fit in with the culture, the American culture. Then I didn't feel like I fit in with this family. I didn't feel like I fit in at work. I didn't feel like I fit in at school. So I felt like I was out of place no matter where I went. So there was massive identity crisis too. And just being a Muslim female, I was very restricted. Very restricted. I could not do things that normal people did. I had to dress a certain way. There was a lot of things I couldn't do. I couldn't go to prom, even though my friends went to prom. I couldn't stay out late, even though my friends were staying out late. I couldn't do all this stuff, even though my friends were doing all this stuff. And that was really hard growing up. And my family they did not do a good job of explaining why. They just restricted it, and that was it. And of course, that causes you to be super rebellious. And there was also a period of time where I was also rebellious with food, because my family was very restrictive, and they were dealing with their eating disorders and how much they hated their bodies and stuff. And I was just like, I'm just going to eat and live my life. And I knew that would make them mad. And at that time I was super rebellious, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this to make y'all mad. And that hurt me. That ultimately hurt me in the end. And of course I dealt with binge eating disorder. I had dealt with orthorexia at one point when I was in the new age. I dealt with a bunch of eating disorders. I dealt with a brief thing of anorexia when I was younger. I dealt with bulimia when I was younger. I would take laxatives. And all of that slows down the metabolism. All these restrictive diets and all these eating disorders slows down the metabolism and eats away at the muscle. So then I go into my 20s and 30s with a really slowed metabolism. And then all this trauma from Islam and my family and from men and being a single mother and all the stress and everything on me wreaked havoc on my health. At one point I dealt with chronic fatigue syndrome. I had dealt with adrenal fatigue. I had dealt with mold toxicity, because I was living in a house full of black mold, and that can cause you to gain weight too. I had thyroid issues from a very young age. I'm dealing with a condition right now called lipedema. Lipedema is a connective tissue disorder. So I do have enlarged legs and arms. So that's something that, I'm praying to the Father about. He had revealed to me that it is a generational curse from the father's side. So it's a combination of, just trauma, just to sum it up, eating disorders, health issues, and emotional eating. So yes, those combination of factors is how at one point I had gotten to almost 300 pounds. What contributed to 442 pounds was in 2022, I decided to get treatment for my eating disorder and for all the diets and stuff that I did, because I knew that had wreaked havoc on my metabolism. And so at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing by, hiring an eating disorder coach and hiring a dietitian to do this process called going all in, which I'm really ashamed to even talk about this, but I'm going to talk about this just in case there are other people thinking about doing this. All in is basically a process in eating disorder recovery. It's very controversial, where basically you eat to satisfaction, you eat all the processed food and everything to satisfaction, and you go through this period for, like, it's not very long, it's maybe like 2-3 months or something like that. And then your body stays at a stable weight for that period of time. Like, you gain a lot of weight at once, but then it stays stable. And then it releases what's called overshoot weight. So then your body will start releasing the weight that it no longer needs. I've watched a lot of videos on this, y'all. I have done a lot of research at the time on this. Again, I was not with the father at that time, because the father would have told me, heck no, don't do that. And like I said, I had consulted with a coach, I had consulted with a dietitian, and I had read books on it, I read research papers on it, and so I'm like, all right, let's do it, because I went on so many diets at that time. I've been on a diet since I was 7, and nothing has worked, so let's just do this process. Yes, I'll gain weight for, a period of time, but then, hey, my body will release it, and it will get to the set point weight. Or so I thought. Oh my goodness. So I was working with this coach, I was working with this dietitian, and yeah, we did the process. And at first I was like, whatever, it was whatever. I gained weight, I was not happy about it, but I was like, okay, I was expecting it. And things started to take a pretty bad turn, like, I don't know, like 6-7 months or something like that, where I remember telling the coach, I'm like, I'm still gaining weight. I wasn't supposed to gain weight. You said that people stop gaining weight around this time, and I feel like I'm still gaining weight, and I've gained too much weight. And like, what's going on? She's like, oh, you just need to do some internal work. She was like, I'll get into manifesting, imagine your dream body, visualize. And I was doing that, but at one point it just got really, really bad. And I had stopped working with this coach, and I had gone to a psychic. And the psychic said, which is wrong. Don't go to a psychic, y'all. That's forbidden in the Bible. It is a form of divination. So do not do that. But I had gone to the psychic, and the psychic said that there was a lot going on with my health that was contributing to weight gain. And he told me to go see a doctor. And it was interesting that he said that, because with this psychic, you can ask him a couple of questions ahead of time, like email it to him. And so I had emailed him some questions. And one of the questions was not about my health, but my health came up. And he's like, yeah, you need to go to the doctor. You need to get a checkup. He's like, I'm seeing some things that are contributing to your weight gain. He's like, you have a lot of hormonal stuff going on. And he's like, I don't know if you're insulin resistant or pre-diabetic or PCOS, but there's something with your insulin, you need to get this checked. So I was like, okay. And so I did. I mean, I had a checkup with the doctor the week after that. And yeah, my hormones were all out of balance, and I was pre-diabetic, and there was a lot going on. Inflammation was high, all of that. But that kind of woke me up, and I was like, okay, there's some things going on with my health, and this isn't good. And so the doctor that I was working with had a massive fat bias going on. He blamed everything on my weight, and he told me to go on another restrictive diet to lower the insulin. And I was just like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like that was the right advice, and I didn't want to work with this doctor anymore. During that period, I was working at an eating disorder clinic. I did not work that job very long. There was a lot of things going on in that job. But there was a doctor at that job that I had met that actually lived about an hour and a half. Her office was an hour and a half away from me. And she was like, at the time, she was the doctor that I needed, because I needed a doctor who did not focus on weight and was just focused on improving my health markers. And she was like the perfect doctor. She was membership based, so I signed up for a year with her. She was good at, telling me everything that was going on in my body. She's like, your inflammation is really, really high. You are almost diabetic. Your blood pressure is a little bit elevated. She was telling me all this stuff. She's like, your hormones, everything. She's like, your thyroid is off, everything's off. And she's like, no wonder you got to this weight. She's like, you're doing that, and plus your health really plummeted during that time. So she's like, everything's out of balance. No wonder you're gaining so much weight. So I was like, okay. She's like, let's focus on getting things in balance. And so that's what we did. Like little by little, I was getting things in balance. She put me on a new thyroid medication. And, I've been good ever since I've been on that thyroid medication. My thyroid was not balanced for many, many years before that. It's miserable when your thyroid's not balanced and you gain a lot of weight. So we did that. And I think a month after I signed up with her, I came to the Father because there was a lot of spiritual stuff going on and a lot of scary spiritual stuff going on. So I had come to the Father and, I was repenting and I was doing all this. And as I was doing that spiritual work, I'm telling you, my body started to heal. I did not release weight at this time. It took a while for my body to start releasing the weight because I was dealing with fatty liver and all of that. I mean, during this time that I was with the Father, I came to the Father, I had gotten a deliverance prayer, I did all that. My health was improving. My thyroid was finally balanced. Fatty liver had went away, praise Yah, and things were improving. I was starting to feel better. So then that's when I started to incorporate like a little bit of exercise. I had signed up for an app called Train Well at the time, which is a personal training app. I love them, but they are so expensive. So I ended up not staying with them, but they're really good. I really love them. Yeah, because it's an app where you get like a personal trainer and they give you like exercises based on like what you tell your trainer. It was really cool. And then you can have meetings with your trainer on a regular basis. But yeah. So I did that for a bit. And I think I just started off just exercising just for a little bit, just to get my mobility and stuff. At the time, I also was dealing with a bulging disc. So I had gone to the chiropractor. I had gone to physical therapy. But I didn't have success until I went to the current physical therapy that I went to. That's when I started to have the most success. And during that time too, like a couple months after, just doing all the spiritual stuff, like forgiving people, letting go of anger, I remember the Father was convicting me to change my nutrition during that time. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to trigger another eating disorder. Like, I don't know. And I was praying to him and the biblical nutritionist kept coming up. And I was just like, okay. And she had a free coaching session during that time, like a free group coaching session. So I was like, all right, let me just go. Let me see what she's about. I signed up for that free session and, I really liked it. And I was praying after the session was over and I signed up for her program. And let me just say, like, it was not an easy decision because she was telling me a lot of things that was contradictory to what I learned during my eating disorder recovery. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to trust her and I'm going to trust the Father and let's start changing my eating. So it literally started off with me just intermittent fasting. That's how it started off. And then me just cooking little by little. And I had signed up for a fitness challenge with WeShape and it was like a 5-week long challenge. So I signed up with them and I really liked this. So I ended up signing up for a couple of months with them. And I've been with WeShape for a couple months. At that time too, I needed physical therapy for my ankles, so I ended up going to physical therapy. And then I ended up going to physical therapy for other stuff because I really liked this physical therapist that I was with. Because they were really good. Like, I got really good results being with them. They challenged me for sure, but it was amazing. And I'm telling you, though, just the way the Father worked it out was it was beautiful. Getting this coaching from the biblical nutritionist and, addressing the spiritual side first. And then I joined an assembly a couple months before that, and I really started to find my community. But during this time, I was also working with this doctor. And with this doctor, we're making little lifestyle changes. Like, okay, let's work on sleep. Let's work on getting more fiber in your eating. Let's work on getting healthy fats. Let's work on, getting your hydration and stuff like that. So, like I said, I was making little changes, little by little with this doctor. And then once I got to the biblical nutritionist in April of 2025, that's when I started to make more changes, like intermittent fasting and stuff. And yeah, then I just decided to just go fully with eating biblically. And here I am, y'all. Here I am 7 months later. I'm cooking the majority of my food at home. I would say about 90% of the time, I am cooking my food at home. I don't cook very elaborate stuff. I cook simple stuff. And I'm eating according to the Bible. I feel great. And yeah. And I'm still doing my exercises with WeShape. I had just graduated from physical therapy, so praise Yah for that. And I'm also incorporating another app called HasFit. HasFit stands for Heart and Soul Fitness. So I'm like combining both of them together. And yeah, here I am. I mean, there's still some stuff going on, but I'm feeling better and I have more energy. And even the days that I don't sleep good, I'm not as tired and winded like I used to be. And things are good. Like, things are going good. I mean, yeah, there's still stuff in my health that I need to address. So I am going to be seeing a holistic doctor soon. But, I mean, compared to where I was last year, I am in much less pain. I can drive and go out more. I can actually go to the grocery store and go get what I need from the grocery store instead of doing curbside pickup. I can do things. I can think a lot more clearly. I can do things now that I couldn't do before. So, and I've gotten stronger. I've gotten more flexible. Yes, there's still some things that I can't do. One of my goals is to do a push-up. One of my goals is to jump. I want to be able to jump again because I lost that ability. I want to be able to do like a dead hang, and I want to be able to eventually do a pull-up. You know, I got to get my upper body stronger and, of course, like lose some weight because, I mean, to lift 376 pounds is going to be a lot harder than if I lost some weight. So, you know, lose weight and strengthen my body at the same time. And yeah, I mean, I got some goals. I mean, I would love to do the Spartan race one day. I mean, if that's y'all's will, and if it's not, it's okay. And I would love to do like a 5K. I would love to do stuff like that. I know most of that stuff takes place during the Shabbat. So I don't know, like, this is Yahuah's will. And one day I want to go to a gym. You know, once I get lighter. I mean, right now with the gym, I might be too heavy still for like the equipment. But yeah, those are goals that I have one day. And I definitely want to just continue to share more of this journey with y'all because there's nobody out there that's doing set apart weight loss. Most people are losing weight either with the GLP-1 or surgery. And again, I understand why, especially when you have a lot to lose. I get it. But I didn't want to do it that way. I didn't want to alter my body. I wanted to do it biblically. I wanted to do it naturally. And so I praise the Father for him leading me to where I am today. And I definitely want to help others because it's hard. I mean, losing weight is hard, especially with me. I got a significant amount to lose, y'all. I got a lot to lose. And yeah, y'all, I'm losing the weight little by little. I got a significant amount to lose. And I want to show people that there's a different way to do it. You don't have to do it the way the world tells you to do it, through restrictive diets, through a GLP-1, through surgery. You don't have to do it like that. You can do it through the Bible. The Bible's got all the knowledge, all the wisdom. I mean, that's literally a life guide in a history book. It's a living book. The Bible's got all the answers to how to eat. It's amazing, y'all. It's amazing. So, I mean, I'm just so grateful to Abba Yahuah that he got me to where I am today, to where I can be more present with my child. Even my child has noticed differences. And he says he likes this version of me better. He says I'm more pleasant now. So yeah, one thing that I do worry about, just because I have so much to lose, is loose skin. But that's something I have taken up to the Father, and the Father knows what's going on in my body. And it's something I did ask the biblical nutritionist about, and she gave me some tips like dry skin brushing, collagen, you know, strength training, which I'm already doing strength training. So yeah, and you know, just healthy fats, keeping my body hydrated and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna buy some collagen soon, and I already have a dry skin brush at home. I just actually need to do it. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So like I said, the Father is in control. He knows what's going on. He knows my concern with the loose skin. I mean, it just feels like punishment. Just, you know, losing the weight and then you got all this skin. Like, and I refuse to believe that loose skin cannot be healed. I mean, the body, the way he designed it, if you give it the right circumstances, the body can heal itself. So can't the skin heal itself if given the right circumstances? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just don't think, I don't know. It's just like, I don't fully believe the science in that. Like, I believe the body can heal, and I believe the skin can retract if given the right circumstances and maybe given time and stuff like that. But we'll see, y'all. We will see. So if this is content that interests you, just like and subscribe to my channel, and I will make more content on weight loss and more content on biblical eating and more content on set apart health journeys. So yeah, let me know if y'all like this video. Are y'all on a health journey? Are y'all working on losing weight? Like, I'm really curious to hear. Have y'all lost weight and you just want like a shout out? I mean, let me know in the comments down below. So, anyways, I love you all and shalom to y'all. Bye.